guys, I'm back. I know y'all probably like, girl, we haven't seen you in months. I know, life got hectic, but I plan on coming back better than ever. And also, I'm in school full time now, so I go to school on campus. So I could also start vlogging for y'all and actually showing y'all stuff instead of just me sitting in the house. And I'm trying to come back with more story times, and that's what today's video is. I'm not really sure what I want to title this one, because I low-key want to title it like the time I got left in the hood, but also I can't even put all the blame on this girl. It was really just me being young and dumb. So I don't know, we'll see what the title is. Okay, so where should I start? Okay, so I graduated in 2019 and I had got my own apartment when I turned 18. So I started hanging out with some girls that graduated a year before me, and I talked to them in school. You know, I was talking to the whole friend group in school, but it was just one girl in particular. I think I had met her before I met the friend group, but she was just being like really mean to me. We're gonna call her China. So China, me and China had like a mutual friend, and one day I had missed the bus, so I caught a ride to school with China and the mutual friend. And like, it wasn't even in China's car, but the entire time, like, China was just like giving me like, "Oh, why is you here" vibes, and I just didn't understand what her attitude was about, because it's not your car, so whatever. But ever since that day, I just never really spoke to her like that, because I didn't like her vibe from that morning. So then after I had graduated, the girls had kind of added me to their Instagram group chat, and we would talk, and when they would go out, they would invite me, so we would all just be chilling and stuff like that. I'm not really sure how it happened, and it was quite weird, but like China just gravitated towards me, and it was to the point where me and China were literally like talking every day. Like every morning I would wake up, China would be at my house literally until the time I fell asleep. Also, I thought that, you know, she was around me all the time because I'm like, oh, she actually wants to be my friend. But realistically, it's because like she had a very strict mom, and she was still living with her mom, but her mom had bought her a car. So China would let her boyfriend drive her car a lot, and you know, China's mom wasn't going for that. So if China would have came home without that car, her mom would have been like, well, where's the car at? So whenever China's boyfriend would have her car, she would be at my house, and he would have her car like quite often. So we were together a lot. So even the other girls in the group chat was like, because they had knew China since like they were like freshmen or in middle school, and they were like, it's kind of weird, like China talks to you all the time now, she barely talks to us. Me and China, I can't even say that. I feel like China showed me a lot of red flags, and I should have known exactly who she was. But you know, like me, and that's my problem sometimes, especially like when we're friends, I be trying to see the good in people. So I'll look past a lot of the stuff you do just so that we can have a friendship, and that's just not a good thing to be doing. Like, for instance, how do I say this? Like, China was a very pretty girl, but she was also very insecure. I don't know why, but it was just like anytime we would get around men, her entire personality would change. Like, not even just men, actually, like the other girls in general. When I tell y'all, me and China, we got close really quick. It was out of nowhere. So me and her were literally together every day for like a month straight. Like, she would be at my house, we would be on the phone, we would be riding around together, everything. So when we would get around other people, China would act like she's aggravated by me, and it would be so confusing, because I'm like, girl, you literally sit around me 24/7. How are you aggravated by me now that we're around other people? Like, say for instance, one time we were in Walmart, and it was one boy in the group chat. We actually ended up being cousins, but we're gonna call him Black. So Black had went and did like a summer job, and he had came back. So we had found out that we were cousins while he was out of town. So when he got back, we were like super excited to see each other in Walmart, and we're just talking, whatever. So all of a sudden, you know, I had seen China walk away with like her face tooted up, but I ain't thinking nothing of it. So all of a sudden, she was talking to two other girls from the group chat. One of the girls don't need a name, but the other girl, what are we gonna call her? We're gonna call her Fan. So Fan was like, Catrell, come here. Catrell, come here. And I'm like, what? And they was like, oh, China up here talking about you. She said you talk too much, like, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I'm looking at China like, you know, like, you good? Like, what's your problem? And she's just like, I'm just ready to go. I'm like, okay. So we go and we get in the car. And me personally, I kind of have like the utmost respect for my friends. So I wasn't going to press China in front of everybody else, because it kind of would have been embarrassing. So I waited till we got in the car, and I was like, you good? Like, you got a problem? And she was like, oh, girl, no, hi. And she just tried to like change the subject. And I was just like, but you were just making it seem like you were just also aggravated with me in the store. But now we back being homegirls. I'm like, girl, whatever. That was the first red flag. So Fast forward, I was in Publix with China, and I don't remember, I think we were getting something for her mom, but my dad had got out of prison around this time, but he was still living in a halfway house, so he had called me, and he was like, oh, do you need some money? And I'm like, yeah, sure. But the problem was he wanted me to go pick up the money from my aunt's house, and I was like dead broke around this time. I don't know what was going on. Oh, I think I was actually paying rent. Huh, them adult bills ain't no joke. So I was like, nah, I'm dead broke. Like, I don't even have no money to go get an Uber to go pick up the money. So China had overheard the conversation. And she was like, oh, I'll take you to go pick it up. I got to go that way anyway because she had to go to a dinner that night. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to ride with you. Sorry, I'm editing and I realized that I missed the part. The reason why China wanted me to come back to the house is because her mom could see me. And her mom would kind of give her a pass to stay out a little bit later if she knew she was with me. Because I think she was like telling her mom sob stories about me to make her mom feel bad. But realistically, China didn't need to be with me all day. I was fine. She was the one who needed a cover-up story. So before we had went to go pick up the money, we had went back to her house so she could get dressed. So she was going on a dinner date with her mentor, and he was a man. And they were going on this dinner date at City Place. And City Place was probably like 5 to 10 minutes away from where my auntie stayed at, depending on how fast you drive. And now I think they call it Mary Place. City Place isn't the nicest place, but the outfit that she had on, it's not something that you wear to dinner. Like, she had a really cute shape, but she had went upstairs and she put on like a crop top and a jean skirt. So her mom seen the outfit, and mind you, her mom's very strict. Like, her mom was OD strict. Like, she couldn't even wear Victoria's Secret underwear, straight hangs. Like, her mama didn't play that. So her mom was like, what do you got on? Like, you're not wearing that. So all of a sudden, usually she would just go upstairs and change, or like just bring the clothes with her and change in the car. She got super mad. She was just like, well, Catrell wears what she wants. So then her mom looked at me and was just like, oh, like, them people let you wear whatever you want. Mind you, her mama had said that because one time when I was in the car with China, she had handed me her phone to like change the music on the aux. And she had left her messages open. So it's like when she handed me the phone, it was like on the messages. I guess she didn't realize it. And she was like talking to me, well, she was talking about me to her mom. And she was like, yeah, I'm with the group home girl. And her mom was like, don't call her that. And I was just like, I was a little turned off by it, but I didn't really think too much of it. I should have though. So her mom was like, oh, those people let you wear whatever you want. And I was like, for one, I'm grown. Like, I pay my own rent. I buy my own clothes. Like, ain't nobody letting me wear anything. I'm buying what I want to wear, period, point blank. Mind you, China was like older than me. She was like 19, 20. So I was just like, but you live in your mama's house. You got to follow her rules. So I just sat that argument out. That ain't had nothing to do with me. So when we were leaving out, for some reason, her mom just kept saying, like, don't leave that girl, China. Don't leave that girl, China. And I was confused because me and China had been kicking it for like a month straight, like, and she had never left me before. So I'm like, why does her mom stay telling her not to leave me? But that should have been a sign, because I'm not gonna say that people's parents are always right about them, but I feel like sometimes your mama know you best. Like, she pushed you out and she raised you. Your mama know how you is. So her mom just kept saying that. And I was like, whatever. Okay, background, I missed the spot. So China had a boyfriend. We're gonna call her boyfriend Burrito. He not really important, but y'all just gotta understand the background of this. So China's boyfriend Burrito, I never really got the chance to like meet him one-on-one, but from the things that she used to tell me and the situation that he used to have us in, I wasn't a fan of him. Like, for instance, Burrito, I told y'all, Burrito used to always drive her car. So the problem would be that Burrito would get her car and he would literally stop answering the phone. And I never understood why do you keep giving Burrito your car? Because every time he gets this car, he does not answer the phone. And it used to just be like, me personally, now that I have a car, I'm not letting nobody drive my car, especially if when I'm calling you, you can't answer. Like, she'll call him to bring her food. He wouldn't bring the food. Then it was like, I think one situation was he had got a nail in her tire. And, she was like crying or whatever. And she was telling him, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, she didn't want her mom to know about the nail in the tire. Because, sometimes, moms make a big deal out of stuff. So I get where she was coming from. That man literally watched her cry, got back in the car with his homeboys, and he left. Like, it ain't his car. And that's another reason why I don't let people drive my car, because ain't nobody gonna respect your property like you respect your property, because you pay for it. So, oh yeah, and it was just like, Burrito used to just do a lot of stuff that he ain't had no business doing. Like, he used to put her in the worst positions. Like, one time in a group chat, everybody was like texting a group chat, sending us this girl's story. This girl was in high school, and she was basically like, oh, my man came and picked me up from school. And the car looks just like China's. So she swear up and down, she's like, this isn't my car. And we're like, yes, it is your car. Because even if somebody else had the same make, model, color, there's stuff in your car that is yours. That's your car. To this day, she'll deny it, but I think that was her car. Sorry. So I just really wasn't a fan of him. So she was going out to the dinner date with her male mentor. But around this time, China's boyfriend had been dogging her nonstop. So, you know, she was kind of like, I guess, trying to get into the habit of talking to other men, which I was happy about because it's like, girl, stand up, please. Like, I'm tired of seeing it. But the problem with her talking to other men was, like, as she started talking to other men, she kind of started showing her true colors. Like, you could kind of tell that she didn't know nothing about girl code. Like, for instance, I kind of want you to branch out and talk to other men because, you know, your boyfriend's dogging you. But you don't need to be trying to talk to the same men as me. Like, she would kind of like ask me like, oh, you know him? I think because like sometimes boys like my pictures or comment up under it. And she would like send it to me and be like, oh, you know him? And I'd be like, yeah, I dealt with him. We went on a date or whatever. She'd be like, oh, I didn't even know he liked big girls. I'm like, oh, okay. And then like to make matters worse, like one time she was DMing, like she tried to DM one of the boys that I was talking to. And he screenshotted it and was like, oh, you trying to set me up? I'm like, I didn't even know she was DMing you because I just told this damn girl that me and you dealt with each other. So that was another red flag. That should have been where I cut off right there because she used to do that with men a lot. Like anytime it came to a man, it was an issue. So we're on the way to the dinner and whatever. So she was like, okay, I'm going to drop you off to the dinner and then I'm going to come back and get you. The dinner only going to last like an hour or two because it was like kind of like 9:30 at night. So the restaurant was going to be closing soon anyway. So this is where I messed up. So I'm getting out the car and I got like a book bag with me. And she was like, oh, you sure you want to carry that? Like, you don't have to take it. Like, I'm going to be right back. Mind you, this book bag had my charger, my house key, my weapons, like everything that I ever carried was in this book bag. And I was like, you know what? You're probably right. I'm not going to be here for that long. I don't want to bring all this stuff into my aunt's house. So I just left the book bag in the car. Dumb mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. So, all right. So I go in the house, I get the money, and I'm talking to my auntie. We just kicking it. You know, it was cool. I hadn't talked to my auntie in a while, so we was just sitting over there chilling. So, you know, me and my auntie talking, but I'm texting, like the first 30 minutes when she had first went to dinner, I'm texting her. She's texting back. She's like, oh, it's mad boring. I'm finna come back and pick you up because, like, I'm bored or whatever. So then I start to realize, like, she stops texting me back. But I was like, whatever, I gave her a pass because, you know, when you at dinner, you're not really supposed to be on your phone anyway. But then I was, like, looking at her Instagram story, and she was posting on Instagram. You know, I'm sitting over there. So now it's probably, like, around 11 o'clock, and I'm texting her. She's still not responding, and then I'm looking at her story. Actually, no, I was looking at her Instagram, and she was active. So I'm like, okay, like, you know, maybe she just ain't seeing it. So then it gets to the point where it's like 12 o'clock at night. And, you know how a black household is. They start winding down the house like, all right, the kids is in the bed. The kitchen is closed. And my auntie's one of the people, like, she don't like to lock her door till everybody's out. But, you know, she's not going to tell me to leave because she don't want to be rude. But at the same time, I felt bad because I was keeping her up. And I knew she had to take her grandkids to school the next day. So it got to the point where I think it was like maybe like 12:30. So I had called China. She didn't answer. I had called her again. She still didn't answer. So it just started giving that vibe. Like, I kind of had to be honest with myself. And I was like, yeah, sis ain't coming back for me. Because it's like 12:30. You dropped me off around 9. And I'm looking. And I think the restaurant that she was at, that restaurant closed at like 11 o'clock. So I'm like, girl, where is you at? So I'm like, whatever. So I had lied to my auntie. And I was like, oh, my ride's outside. Because I didn't want her to stay up for me. So I was like, oh, my ride's outside. And I basically left out. And I called my sister because she stayed a couple blocks down. So I called her and I was like, you know what? I'm finna just walk to your house because this girl ain't coming back to pick me up. And it was like super embarrassing because I'm the youngest sister. So it's like, it's just like how you get left. Like, it was so embarrassing because I was already raised that you're not supposed to leave the house without a ride and a backup ride. You ain't got no money on you to order no Uber. So I'm walking and I just started crying. I'm on the phone with my sister and I'm literally crying. So if you're from Florida, you know, I was in the White House and I was over there next to the Family Dollar in the Boots Plaza next to the Old Snappers. If you know, you know. I had walked past Hooks and I had to walk all the way over there next to Coleman Park. So I'm literally crying the whole time. There's men like honking their horn at me, trying to talk to me. Because they probably think I'm a prostitute because it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, I'm out here walking by myself. Oh, can I say that on? Can I say that on here? Hopefully don't take the video down. Oh, well. So I'm just walking there. So then I just get to my sister's house and I just kind of stop crying and I get in bed with my nephew and I like go to sleep. So now it's like 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. Guess who texts me? China. So she's just like, oh, girl, she's like, oh, girl, where you at? I'm finna come pick you up. And I'm just like, I was like, you know what? I was like, you can just go ahead and, because we live like in the same city. I was like, you can go ahead and just drop my purse off at my house, leave it on my porch. Like, I'm straight. Like, I don't want to deal with you tonight. So she was like, no, girl, I'm going to take you home. Like, I'm not going to leave you. And I'm like, bitch, you already left me. Like, don't make it seem like you're doing me no favors. Like, and realistically, she was doing me a favor because she didn't have to take me anywhere. But I was just like, you didn't keep your word. You ain't got to take me nowhere. I'm straight. So my sister was like, girl, like, no, you're delusional. You just moved into that complex. You don't know if your neighbor's still or what. Like, you need to go get your purse. So she pulls up anyways, and I go outside to get my purse. And I was like, so she was just like, no, like, get in the car. I'm going to take you home. So mind you, anybody who knows me, you know that I'm a talker. Like, if we're in a car and I'm not talking to you, it's probably because the music is turned up. She had the music down low, and she was like trying to carry a conversation with me, and I was ignoring her. So my phone was actually charged at this point. So she comes to get me, and I get in the car, and she's trying to talk to me, but I'm just really not feeling it because I was very mad. So she's talking to me, and I'm just kind of ignoring her. Mind you, from West Palm to Lake Worth, it's like a 20-minute ride. She's talking to me the whole ride, and I'm ignoring her. Like, I'm just playing Candy Crush on my phone. I really ain't got too much to say to her because, girl, you left me. Like, whatever. So it's getting to the point that she's talking so much that I'm just waiting on her to snitch on herself because I'm like, so I didn't want to be in her business, but it kind of just gave like, where were you? Because you wasn't at that restaurant for that long. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. So then when we get back in town, she's like, oh, do you want to go to Walmart? And I was like, no. Although I really did need to go to Walmart, I was like, no, I don't want to go. I'm straight. But she had took me anyway. And she was like, I think she had bought me a drink or something. But I was just like, I was really just over her. I just wanted to go home. I was tired. I was sad. I was exhausted. I was over it. So the next morning I wake up, and I used to always be on the phone with my cousin from the group chat. I would always be on the phone with Black, and Fan would sometimes join the group FaceTimes too. So I'm on the phone talking to Black, and he had asked me, he was like, oh, like, how was your night? So I just got mad all over again, and I just told him what happened. And I was like, it was just so embarrassing. So he's like, no, you need to say something to her about that. That's not right. You don't lead nobody nowhere. And I was like, I don't even want to talk to her about it because I had put on Do Not Disturb. I was honestly just over the friendship because I was just like, I didn't like that. So he was like, no, you need to say something to her about it because if you don't say nothing, I'm going to text the group chat. We all going to say something. So I'm like, nah, let me just say something to her because realistically, I should have went to her first before I even talked to him about it because I didn't want him to text the group chat and then it kind of seemed like, oh, you done told everybody else about your issue with me, but you haven't told me about your issue with me. But the reason why I didn't talk to her about it that night when she picked me up is because honestly, I was so mad that I probably would have put my hands on China. I'm not going to lie. And I was just like, I try not to put my hands on my friends because, you know, it's like y'all supposed to be like sisters. You're not supposed to be out here fighting your friends. But I would have, we would have fought. I'm not going to lie. So I had opened up my messages. China had texted me like 10 times. Mind you, she never, ever, for our whole little friendship, she had never texted me that much. She was like, hey, girl, what you doing? You want to go out to breakfast? Breakfast on me. Like, hey, why you not texting me back? Where's my friend? Like, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? Are you mad at me? So I told her, I was like, hey, girl, like, you know, I ain't like how you did me last night. Like, I kind of felt like you left me. Like, I ain't like that. If you didn't want to take me, you should just told me no or shouldn't have offered. So I had clicked out of the messages, and then when I went and I got back on the phone with Fan and Black. So then, you know, Fan is on the phone, Black's telling her what happened, and then I go back and I look at me and China's messages. So I opened up the message and China was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, but why didn't you say anything about it last night? It just kind of gives like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed and now you just trying to like make a problem with me out of nothing. Like, I think that's kind of like, she was basically saying like I made it up. I was like, you left me. This is not something I just pulled out my behind. You actually left me. So what do you mean I'm making up an issue? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, let's not play dumb. And another thing is, I feel like she was playing dumb because, like I said, her mom was very strict. So I feel like that also kind of led to her feeling like she had to lie about a lot of things that she didn't. Like, out of the group chat that we were in, there was only like 2 girls that were virgins, but they had boyfriends and stuff and they would go on dates. So it's like nobody really cared if you were active or not. It's whatever you want to do. But she would sit there and lie and make up all these elaborate stories about how she's not active, you know. She's not active and men just please her and she doesn't do anything back. So I guess she thought that like me saying something to her about it was insinuating that she was out doing something with somebody. I didn't know what she was doing. I just didn't understand why she had left me. So she's going hard. So I politely blocked her. I was like, I don't even want to talk to you no more because you out your mind. And I was like, realistically, the way she was talking to me, we was gonna get into it. So I just blocked her. So then I get back on the FaceTime call with Fan and Black, and I'm like, tell them like, y'all see what she just texted me? This bitch is crazy. So Finn is like, that's crazy. I just got off the phone with her and she didn't even mention anything about leaving you. She made it seem like y'all was together the whole night. And I was like, she most definitely was not with me for a portion of that night. I don't know what she's telling you. So basically, you know, we just talking out of nowhere. Finn kind of asks me. Finn's like, oh, has China ever talked about me to you? The problem with that was, and that was another red flag, and that was another reason I should have stopped hanging out with China. China talked about all of her friends to me. And when I say all of her friends, I mean every single last one of them. I know everybody's business. But the problem was, I used to ask her, like, okay, are you venting to me or are you gossiping? Because I understand if, you know, your friend does something that you don't like and you're coming to me to tell me to, like, ask for advice. That's one thing. But it would get to the point where she would tell me her friends were things her friends was doing. And I'd be like, okay, like, did you talk to her about it? Because the only way to really get past it with your friends is if you go talk to her about it. And she'll be like, no, I'm not going to talk to her about it because she's not going to understand. So I'm like, okay, so if you're not going to go talk to her about it, why are you telling me? Because telling me isn't going to really solve whatever issues you having with your friend. But she would never, and I will always tell her, like, you need to go talk to them about it, you need to go talk to them about it. And she just never would. So Finn was asking me that, and I was just like, no, like, I was like, honestly, I don't have nothing to do with that. Like, anything you want to ask China, you need to go ask China. Like, I can't tell you. And she was just like, why? And I was like, you know, like, I feel like that's wrong of me to tell you. Like, you know, I'm just like, I just don't want to tell you. I don't want to be in it. So Finn basically drops a screenshot in the group chat. And she was like, girl, you trying to be so loyal to China. Look at how China talking about you. Y'all. So it's not no secret. I used to be in a group home, foster kid, whatever. Nobody cared. Everybody already knew. People knew since since middle school. Because I told them, like, I'd rather me tell y'all than somebody else tell y'all and make it sound like they dropping tea. So I just told everybody, who cares? Y'all, China was in the messages and she was reading me. China was like, I don't even understand why y'all believe her. Y'all know she's a foster kid. Foster kids are known for lying. She's delusional. I was only friends with her out of pity. Like, just, blah, blah. She's on me. Like, she's talking about me bad. So I'm just like, I'm like, really, China? Like, all right. So then Finn's like, you might as well just go ahead and tell me, because if she was like, I already know she be talking about me, just go ahead and tell me. So I was like, no. So then China had said something else. I think China she just kept like throwing the whole foster kid thing like in my face. She was just like, aha, like just basically saying like, just being ignorant. So I was like, oh, since she got so much to say, ask her what she be saying about you. So Finn's asking her, like, so what did you tell Control about me? She was like, I don't talk about you. I love you. We've been friends. She's lying. I've never said anything about you. So I told Finn exactly what China said about her. And I said, go ask her about this. So then China's like, oh, she's lying. But I wasn't lying. The things that China would tell me about everybody in the group chat was things that only China knew. So the only way that I would know is if China told me, because it's the stuff that was happening way before I even joined that little friend group. So then, China and Finn are into it, and basically they're arguing, and China's just saying that she didn't say anything, and she's just still calling me a liar. So it had got to the point, I think I had told China, like, you know I'm on your ass, right? Because you keep talking about me when I didn't do anything to you. So then Finn finally told me, and I think this is why I told Finn what China was saying about her, because this is why I told her, because at first I was like, I'm not going to tell her anything that she's saying, but this is what had happened. She was like, oh, you out here trying to defend her honor. She didn't even tell you that last night she left you to go be with Blue. Blue is the boy from Instagram. Blue is one of those, I feel like everybody, in every city, you got those boys who just be like in everybody's DMs. He always trying to link with everybody. He's a munch. Like, he gonna go for anybody. He had tried to talk to me and I think another girl in the group chat anyway. So I was surprised that she would even go see him after that. But basically, she had left the dinner early. Mind you, Blue lived in the same area as my auntie. So what China did was China literally rolled past my auntie house and went to go chill with Blue for hours. And I'm gonna tell y'all how I know that later on. So when she had told me that, I was like, oh, so that's why she didn't come pick me up. And it was just like, I think that was part of, I thought she did that because, for one, it couldn't be because she was cheating on her boyfriend, because your boyfriend was dogging you. So I really wouldn't have been able to judge you if you was dogging him back. But I think she did that because she wanted to keep up this persona like, oh, I'm a virgin. I don't do anything. I'm innocent. But girl, who cares? It's not my cat. I do not care. But I do care about you leaving me and lying about it. So, you know, whatever. So I told China, like, you know I'm on your ass, right? Like, I'm going to see you. And it was bad. Like, I I used to be trying to get into her neighborhood because she lives in a gated neighborhood, and I used to go over there, and I was really trying to catch her. I went to her job. I was like really trying to get at her because I was actually very mad, because I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely thought that me and China were friends. So when this whole situation happened, like, it had really hurt my feelings, and I should have known better. I never ended up catching China. To this day, I still have not seen China. So I just never let it go. So a couple days, I think it was like the next day or the day after that, I had seen like a really cute picture of me and my memories that had popped up, and China was in it. So I could have been mature and cropped China out and just posted myself, but I was like, no. So I probably put a snake over China's face, and I posted the video and was like, look at me, like, I'm cute, focus on me. Girl, when I tell you, everybody, like, all of her friends were so up in arms, and I'm not gonna lie, back then I was really ready to take it there with all of her friends, but later on, somebody had kind of let me know, like, China didn't tell everybody the truth. China basically went and told everybody that I had asked her for a ride and she said no. So I just like went on a rampage and was like trying to fight her or whatever. And that's not what happened. But that's what she told her homegirls. So when I had posted a picture, her homegirls are thinking like, oh, I'm trying to bully her or whatever. And I didn't care about what they had to say because I didn't really know them. But what made me mad was it was one girl that I was genuinely friends with. Like, we had known each other since middle school. She got on her story and she posted like, oh, y'all always trying to bully China. Come at me like that. So you know me. Back then, I was super impulsive. I'm responding to the story. I'm texting her. I'm like, oh, what you trying to get at? Like, who you talking about? Soon as I pressed send, she deleted the story. The story came down. She only left it up for like 3 seconds. So I was so mad because I'm just like, y'all are actually sitting over here believing that I'm bullying this girl when y'all have known me for X amount of years. Why would I only bully her? It was a whole bunch of girls in that friend chat, in that group chat. I was hanging around China for like months. Why out of nowhere, I just hate China all of a sudden? Like, come on. Whatever. So that just turned me off with everybody because I didn't like that. I hated that. I did not like that at all. To this day, if you did that, I still don't like you. I understand y'all be trying to DM me and be cool. Now we would never be cool because I don't like that. So never really talked to China after that day. And then me and Fan ended up getting real cool, and that was a dumb decision too because she ended up crossing me the same way. And I should have known better than to even get close to Fan, because I was like, everybody knew China was, and they knew that China was talking about me, and they still allowed me to hang around her. Nobody ever gave me the heads up, like, you know, China will leave you for a minute. Like, nobody ever said anything. Whatever. So, fast forward, a month or two later, I told y'all the boy Blue. I ain't gonna call him a munch because that's rude. He's like the team mascot. Like, any girl in the city can have him. You ain't gotta be cute. You ain't gotta have money. He's one of those. Like, anybody can hit him. So he had texted me one day, and he was just like, oh, you're really pretty. You're so familiar. Like, where I know you from. And I had told him, like, oh, I used to be friends with this girl, and I think y'all had went on a date or whatever. And he was just like, he was like, refresh my memory. So I had like explained to her who she was. I think I had sent him a picture of her. And he was like, oh, you was the girl that she had left that night? I was like, that's so freaking embarrassing to be known as the girl that got left. So he was like, yeah. So apparently, I guess she was over there at his house and she was trying to spend the night. And the only reason that she came and got me is because he was literally like telling her to like, go get your friend. Like, you know how men be like, oh, what you gonna do after this? He was trying to find a way to like slick kick her out, but I guess he didn't just want to tell her to leave. So he told her to come pick me up. That's why she came back for me. Honestly, I think if that boy would let her spend the night, I don't think she would have came back and got me. But literally, after me and her friendship ended, so much stuff just came to the light, and it just kind of explained to me like why nobody liked me. The reason why her mama thought I was faster than Mexican music is because China used to be with her boyfriend or be with Blue or other boys, I guess, and she used to be telling her mom that she's with me or that she's helping me out because I'm a broke foster kid or whatever. But I was grown at that point, so you weren't helping me. I was at home. So she was with them. So then it kind of looked like to her mom, like, oh, you got my daughter staying out at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning because you need a ride and you're using her for her car. That's never what it was. Ever. That story is over. I kind of moved on with my portion, that portion of my life. I don't know. I'm very selective about who I'm friends with. And actually, after that situation, I started saving up for a car. And I think I ended up buying my car that next year. Because after that, I was like, nobody will ever get the opportunity to leave me ever again. Like, one thing about me, I'm going to drive my car to the function. And I'm going to have some Uber money. If you even give me the vibe that you think about leaving me and I'm gone, I'm dipping, you would never get the chance to do me like that again. But I'm very selective about who I hang out with now. And I pay close attention to the girls who are like crazy over men. we grown. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to date and like be around men. But once you start showing me that you're crazy over men, you're crazy for attention and anything. If a man say jump, you say hi. I don't hang out with you. It's not even anything against you personally. I just know how females get to moving around men and it can get dangerous. So I just stay away from y'all. And please learn from this. Don't be an idiot like me. Remember, do not be leaving the house without money, backup money, a ride, a backup ride. Like, please be safe. And that will be the end of the story time. So hopefully tell me if y'all like it or not. And comment what other type of content y'all would like to see, because I'm trying to drop more videos. Bye, guys.